Hi, I decided to make this video because there's a lot of controversy over the Church of Body Modification right now. And I think that it's important for people who disagree or don't understand to get a perspective from somebody who is not kind of in the middle of what's going on. Somebody that's not a church official, who's not, kind of in the limelight or right in the middle of what's going on. Somebody whose sole purpose is not necessarily to kind of protect the interests of the church. So, with that said, I am a member of the Church of Body Modification. However, I'm acting of my own volition. Anything that I say right now is my own thoughts, my own opinions, my own interpretations, and they do not reflect on, the opinions or position of the church. So basically, I think what a lot of the controversy stems from is the fact that people are kind of assuming or misunderstanding that members such as myself are worshiping tattoos and piercings, and that's not what's going on. Where the spirituality comes from is the preparation of the ritual, the experience of the ritual, and the symbolism behind the ritual and the end result of the tattoo or the piercing. Now, this is going to be totally different for each person and each time they go through it. In Ariana's case, she was abused, and this ritual for her was symbolic of, kind of growing as a person despite the abuse, and accepting herself as a beautiful person, and, kind of like moving on with her life. The actual jewelry itself serves as a permanent reminder of that experience, of that, kind of overcoming of her struggle, of, the pain that she went through that she's not feeling anymore. Instead of having kind of, like a negative reminder, she has, this beautiful piece of jewelry on her face. It's always going to remind her of the overcoming of the struggle, and it's always going to remind her that she is beautiful. So that's kind of like where I feel that is coming from. Now, in the case of tattoos, I feel very strongly that a tattoo is like a pilgrimage. Instead of executing our pilgrimage on the world and traveling somewhere and overcoming hurdles, earthly hurdles, worldly hurdles, we execute our pilgrimage on our skin and in our minds. It can be a physical outlet for emotional pain. For example, in the instance of, let's say, a memorial tattoo for a loved one, it, everybody deals with grief in different ways, and it can be very, very difficult to move on from that kind of experience. What the tattoo does is it gives you, the opportunity to make a physical representation of what that person means to you. The significance that person has in your mind is personified in, a symbol or a picture or a quote. And, that pain that you're feeling when you go through the act of the tattoo is now pain that you're feeling physically on your body. And it's like a way to channel that pain through your skin and then out of yourself. And obviously this isn't going to work for every person. Not everybody would want to do this. Not everybody, feels that that is the right way for them to grieve. But, it works for some people. I think also people are kind of not realizing that body modification is a really extensive umbrella. There are a great many things that people do in daily life that fall under the category of body modification. Body modification is not limited to tattoos and piercings and branding and scarification. Other things that fall under the category of body modification include plastic surgery. Every time you get a tummy tuck, every time you get a facelift, every time you get a breast augmentation, you are modifying your body. Every time, there's a bodybuilder that spends extra time in the gym, that modifies his diet, that, maybe takes steroids, or consumes extra protein to build muscles. That is modifying your body. Circumcision, laser hair removal, even shaving is body modification. Even though it's more temporary, shaving is more temporary, but it's still modifying the appearance of yourself to fit the aesthetic that you prefer. Crucifixion. Now, there are cultures that crucify themselves in honor of Jesus Christ and by way of expelling their own demons. Literally nailing themselves to crosses. This is body modification. Their hands are permanently scarred, they're permanently damaged, but that doesn't stop them from, practicing this ritual. It doesn't stop them from gaining what they gain out of the ritual. There are so many religions that are well known that practice different forms of body modification. For example, fasting. Fasting is a form of body modification. Religions that practice fasting include Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Catholicism, Judaism, Buddhism, just to name a few. All of these religions practice fasting in one form or another. Hinduism, as a matter of fact, if anybody has heard of the Hindu festival, I hope I'm saying it right, Thaipusam. This festival is a religious festival, and it includes, I forget what they're called, but they're structures that the person would hold up by having skewers that are attached to the structure that stick into their bodies in different places to support the structure. And they go through the festival like this. Skewers through participants' cheeks, or different parts of their body. These are practices that have been going on for thousands of years. And these are, legitimate and widely accepted religions in the world. Because there are so many things that constitute as body modification. And I think we can all agree that things such as plastic surgery or, laser hair removal, even circumcision, are things that we as society perform because we appreciate their aesthetic value. There really is no other reason for getting a facelift than vanity. There's no other reason for laser hair removal than vanity. And, these are things that are widely accepted by our society. Um, and I don't think that that is necessarily any more acceptable than, what I do by getting a tattoo. Something that's hard for me to really understand where it comes from is the fact that when we teach our children when they're young and when they're growing up, we always encourage individuality and self-expression. And I think that's definitely important, but consistency is also important. And when our children grow up and they decide that they want to express themselves by getting a tattoo or a piercing, we tell them, oh, no, that's not okay. You can't, no, we don't like that. And I mean, really, well, why not? You are the one that told me that I should express myself, and you are the one that told me that I should be an individual, so I don't understand. Also, I have a problem with the way the media and the teachers at Ariana's school, for example, this whole fiasco about the girl who has a nose ring. They're talking about how it's a distraction and these poor teachers should be able to focus on teaching, etc., etc. And I think that these are absolutely ridiculous statements. I'm sorry, but I believe in individuals taking responsibility for their own actions. And if you allow yourself to be distracted by a nose piercing or a tattoo, who is that really reflecting on? I have many piercings, I have many tattoos. I've been getting pierced and tattooed for almost 10 years, and so far, I'm a straight A student. I attend a prestigious art school, and I have scholarships, and, I'm doing very well. So I don't think that I'm distracted by my tattoos and piercings. And if you are distracted by my tattoos and piercings, then that's your own fault. Back to other religions that have, rites and rituals that include piercings and modification. These are things that have been around for thousands of years. And if you think about what those festivals and what the rituals, what they mean and what they're attempting to accomplish, if you really think about it, I mean, we as members of the Church of Body Modification are just taking these fundamental concepts and the purpose of body modification, and we are removing it from the context of a theological religion. So instead of practicing these rites and rituals because God says we should, or because our religion says we should, or because our tradition says we should, we are practicing these rites and rituals because we want to. Because we want to make ourselves better. We want to make ourselves whole. We want to understand ourselves and those around us. And I think, that is way more profound in terms of enlightenment than, God says I should do this, so I'm doing it.